So today again we will continue controller of money supply from the last video. So in our last video we discussed about the repo rate, bank rate, okay, and open market operation. So now 2 points, margin requirements and legal reserve requirements we have to discuss. So first we will start the margin requirements. What is margin requirements? Margin is the difference between the amount of loan and market value of the securities offered by the borrower against the loan. See, amount of loan and the market value of the securities offered by the borrower against the loan. And these margin requirements is determined by the central bank. If central bank says that this margin requirement is 40%, clear? Suppose central bank says that margin requirements is 40%. So it means commercial banks are allowed to give only 60% as a loan. Is it clear? So margin requirements is the difference between amount of loan and the market value of the security offered by the borrower. So if central bank says that margin requirements is 40%, so it means commercial banks are allowed to provide loan only 60%. Clear? So it means more margin requirements means less credit creation. And less margin, it means more credit creation. Clear? So again you see what I say. If more margin requirements, then less money creation. And if less margin, it means like 20%, then commercial banks are allowed to give 80% as a loan. If margin is 5%, then commercial banks are allowed to give 95% as a loan. See? So these margin requirements, it's depend on the inflation or deflation. So when the demand efficiency is there, demand efficiency means demand efficiency. It means inflation. So when inflation is there, then central bank will order to increase the margin so that commercial banks can provide less credit. And when deflation is there, then commercial bank will get, it means like this one is ordered by the Reserve Bank of India, then these margin requirements will be less, like 5%. Then they can give 95% as a loan. Clear? So this is called the margin requirements. It's very easy to understand. Okay, so it means suppose your property's documents value is 100%. Clear? Suppose your property's documents that value is the 100. So when commercial banks has to give 40% as a margin requirements, then what is the left amount? 60%. So it means now you will get 60% only as a loan. So this one is the loss for you. So you will not take more loan from the bank. It means indirectly RBI wants to discourage you because they wants to control the efficient demand. Clear? And when there is a deflation, then what bank will do? RBI will fix margin requirements is 5%, very less. Now commercial banks, see, are allowed to give you loan as a 95%. Okay, so this is called the margin requirements. Then another one is already we discussed the legal reserve requirements. Just you see again. So this is the commercial banks are obliged to maintain reserve. It is a very quick and direct method for controlling and credit creating power of the banks, commercial banks. So it means legal reserve requirements. This is also ordered by the Reserve Bank of India. So for example, see, suppose today one person he or she, suppose X, he came to the bank to open a bank account and deposited suppose 1000 rupees. Clear? So from this 1000, so commercial bank has to give suppose 20% as a LRR. So it means 200. 20% of 1000 means what? 200 rupees. Bank has to keep as a legal reserve requirements. Okay. So now see, there are main two components of LRR. One is CRR and one is SLR. In money creation process, already we discussed about this. Again, we are going to repeat, clear the concept. So legal reserve ratio, suppose this one is we have assumed 20%. Then CRR, suppose 5%. Then what? LRR is 15%. Clear? This one. So 5 plus 15 is equal to 20%. Now, what is the CRR? So this one is the cash reserve ratio commercial bank has to keep with Reserve Bank of India. So when one person deposited 1000 or whatever, so 20% directly they have to keep as a LRR. And they will divide into two parts, so CRR and SLR. So one part CRR, it means out of this 20%. So 5% commercial banks will keep with RBI, and SLR is that portion which one commercial bank will keep with themselves. Clear? Again you see CRR is that portion which one commercial bank has to keep with RBI. And SLR is that portion, it means like 15%, which one commercial banks will keep with themselves. Clear? And when inflation is there, the same thing, they will increase the legal reserve ratio. When legal reserve ratio is more, then credit creation is less. And when LRR is less, then credit creation is more. So for example, now you see here, it means increase in LRR, then decrease in credit creation. Credit creation. Clear? And same thing in case of CRR also. Increase in CRR, it means decrease in credit creation. So in exam they can ask you about the relationship between CRR and money creation. Clear? So it means that time you have to know that what is the relation. What is the relationship between CRR and a credit creation? What is the relationship between SLR and a credit creation? What is the relationship between LRR and credit creation? The same thing. So it means just you remember two things, inflation and deflation. When inflation is there, then LRR, CRR, SLR, so it will increase. So that central bank can control the commercial banks in case of advancing loan. And when deflation is there, then they will reduce LRR, CRR or SLR so that commercial banks can provide more credit to the public. Clear? So finally we have discussed total 5 methods. In the previous video, bank rate, repo rate, and open market operation. And now in this video we discussed about the margin requirements and the legal reserve requirements. So these are the methods, these are the system to control the money supply. And always you remember when we talk about the money control, then this is the main function of the Reserve Bank of India or central bank. Clear? Clear? So money control and the money creation is different. Money creation, it means by the commercial banks through advancing loan. And money control means what? Reserve Bank of India or central bank. It means how they can control the money supply, because increase in money supply creates lots of problem in our society. As a Supreme or Apex Bank of India, this is the responsibility of the central bank to control the system. And when they have to control the whole money supply system, then they use these methods like bank rate, repo rate, open market operation, margin requirements, and finally these legal reserve requirements. So I hope you understood this lesson, and if you have any